Thank you, 7 people. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Welcome to the ZACC socially distanced sessions. Hopefully one of the last sessions is going to happen. Who knows? Things are going well. Tonight's a really special night. Revival Comedy's been doing these a few times now, but tonight is a birthday celebration. 1 year ago tonight, the first case of COVID was confirmed in Montana. So happy birthday, COVID. Oh yeah, you've grown up so much. You're mutating. There's all sorts of variants. You're doing great. A year ago tonight, I had the weirdest day. I dropped my kids off at school. I went to work. After work, I went to Plonk, where I listened to some live music. And then I was going to go to a comedy show, and it was canceled because of COVID. And I was like, that sucks. I guess I have to wait until next week to do comedy in front of a live audience. And we all know how that went. 7 people. So tonight, I wanted to kind of recreate a year ago tonight in the best way we can. So we've got some live music from Nate Biehl coming up. We've got some live comedy coming up. And the best part is this is all in celebration of a local nonprofit. This month's nonprofit is Free Verse. It's a really cool organization. And we have the executive director here tonight, and we're going to hear from her. So that you can learn more about what they do and why you should maybe kick $5 or $10 their way. If you look below me, there should be a link in the chat box or the event description, a little giving link. So you can click on that, throw a few dollars their way. Every single performer you see tonight is earning no money. They're earning your donations to Free Verse. So keep that in mind if you're watching. There are performers working tonight for this cause. So without further ado, please welcome Nicole Gomez, the Executive Director of Free Verse.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Nicole Gomez. I'm the Executive Director of Free Verse. We teach creative writing and literacy classes in juvenile detention centers around Montana. We teach here in the Missoula JDC. We teach in the Ted Lechner Youth Services Center in Billings. And we teach in the Pine Hills Youth Correctional Facility in Miles City, Montana. So many of incarcerated youth are labeled and dismissed as criminals, as delinquents, as problem children. And they're put away behind walls where they quite literally become invisible. For their privacy, their faces and their identities cannot be shared. And in this time of pandemic isolation, now a year in, all visitations have been indefinitely halted, so they've been more cut off than ever from the world. Free Verse aims to give the kids the tools to reclaim their narratives in writing and to tell the world who they really are. And then to give them the encouragement and create the safe space within which they can tell their own stories. Often, these are stories of poverty and hardship. Incarcerated youth are disproportionately from ethnically and economically marginalized communities. But just as often, there are stories of home, of the kids' lives in Missoula or in Billings, or of family. The kids write so often of missing their mothers, missing their siblings. And they also write about their hopes and their dreams for the future and what they want to be when they grow up. It is a powerful reminder that they're just children. Children who are traumatized and scared, but also hopeful and playful. Once they entrust us with their stories, we seek to amplify their voices and to get through publication and to get their words out there into the wider community from which they have historically been excluded. We publish their work in The Beat Within, which is a nationally circulated publication out of California that features the work of incarcerated youth and adults. And we also publish their work in our own publications, including in the I Am Montana anthologies, in commissary notes, and in our 3-part quarantine series that explores their experience of the pandemic and living in quarantine. All of our publications are available on our website and also in bookstores and libraries around Montana. Here in Missoula, you can get them at Fact and Fiction and at Shakespeare and Company, both of which have been longtime friends and supporters to free verse. I'd like to share a poem from one of our students called I Remember. This was from Dee, who was at the Missoula JDC. I remember when I went fishing with my family. I remember how we had a tire swing in our front yard and my older brother pushing me as high as he could. I remember getting a machine to monitor my heart rate and heartbeat and wanting to put stickers all over it. I remember the day I wasn't allowed to live with my mom no more and how sad I was to not be around her no more. I remember my older brother getting into trouble on my 12th birthday and not being able to have him there, and I climbed a tree and sat there for hours. I remember finally being able to see and live with my mom again, and how good I felt inside that I was able to finally see both of my parents. I remember having to switch back and forth between my parents every weekend, and I remember how sad I felt when I had to leave my mom at home alone. I remember how scared I was to have to go back to my dad's house. I remember the day that I felt that I couldn't protect my little brother when I started to get into more trouble. I remember when my little sister came into this world and holding this tiny, warm, pink, purplish baby and knowing I was her big brother. I remember the first time that I heard my little sister ask where I was and not knowing what to say, and I busted down in tears. I remember getting sent places farther and farther from home. I'm feeling scared that I wouldn't be able to be a big brother. I remember when I heard I have a chance to go home and how happy I felt on the inside that I can be there for my family and my siblings and be that bigger brother. So like I said, that was Dee, who was at the Missoula JDC. And you can find more of our students' writings in the publications that are available on our website and in bookstores, or also by following our social media if you'd like to hear more of their work. Our goal is always to keep their words front and center. One of our students spoke to what we aim to accomplish at Freeverse, and I'd say he probably put it better than I can. It came at the end of a class that we were teaching, and we were thanking the kids for sharing their time with us and their stories. And completely unprompted, he said, Freeverse has given me the ability to show people who I am. I know now that I'm not a bad person, that I have a story to tell, and that my words are powerful. You guys have inspired me. And that was a student at the Missoula JDC. We want to thank Revival Comedy for choosing Freeverse to support this month with their social distance sessions. We're grateful for the opportunity to share what we do and, above all, to share the kids' words with the wider community. If you enjoy the show, please consider donating. Even $5 helps. And yes, thanks again for supporting the work we do and allowing us to continue to serve Montana's incarcerated young people. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nicole. That was super awesome. And I really feel that hit home about what this show is about tonight, which is storytelling and sharing, even when we're isolated and alone. And I don't know, I think everybody can identify with some of those feelings. It's such a great organization. I've seen the work that they do. To donate, the Give Butter link is right below my image, if you can click on that. So next up we have a few songs for you. And I asked Nate Biehl to be here tonight because, again, I think he's just an amazing singer-songwriter and storyteller. And he's written a few songs, especially for us tonight, and about the experience of the last year. So please welcome Nate Biehl.
The 7 people joke was already used. Dang. How's it going? Who's vaccinated? How the hell did you all do that? Hey, I have a question. Does this have to be family friendly or anything? Okay, cool. How the fuck did you all do that? I've just been waiting to like get a phone call or something. I don't know. How do you know? How do you know when you can do that? I guess I should look that up or something. Okay, so I like the I Remember poems because that's kind of what we're all going to do tonight, right? Is remember the last year. And this first song I wrote was... Okay, so I spent the last week kind of poring over the year and trying to figure out what to play for you guys. And I guess a real big part of the early pandemic part was Tiger King. So this is a song about Tiger King. What the hell are they talking about? Tiger King. What's a Tiger King? What on earth is everyone talking about? Tiger King. What's a Tiger King? Oh my God, did you see those tattoos? Not one husband, this guy has 2. Feels like I'm watching it with all of you. What else he got to do? What else he got to do? He's not the only one. Tiger Kings, Tiger Kings and Queens. They're all insane, every single one. Tiger Kings, Tiger Kings. What on earth is this pixie wind orgy? How can any of our shame even compete? So much screaming reality. I'm totally consumed, totally consumed. That was fun, but then it got dark. Tiger King, No more Tiger King. Something's haunting all these tiger parks. Tiger King. No more Tiger King. I don't think we should do that again. I wish we could put him back in his den. What was that you said? You wish he was dead. God, find us something new. Please find us something new. This is the type of thing that I usually do when I can be assured that people aren't paying attention, and this is not that night. Okay. I'm going to do 3 songs this first set, and then I'm closing. Sorry, I've just got this pedal, and I forget that you have to turn it off to talk. Yeah, 3 songs that I wrote for this context, and this next one is about all those things that were terrible about seeing live music that now I really wish I could do. Things like talking to somebody at the next urinal, you know. Okay, this one's called I Want to Wait in Line in the Bathroom. I want to knock empty bottles off the table, 'cause there's so many people that I can't keep my balance, and I want to stay. Sorry, the guitar stopped working. I want to wait in line for the bathroom. Make small talk with the people in the other stall. I want to feel your breath on the back of my neck, on the back of my neck. I want to wait in line for the bathroom. I want to knock empty bottles off the table, 'cause there's so many people that I can't keep my balance. I want to reach in a cold summer cooler where we all use our hands, we all leave our plans. I want to take a long drag off your smoke while you laugh in my face in a neon spit take. I want to empty bottles off the table. Wanna wait in line for the bathroom. Make small talk with the people in the other stall. I wanna feel your breath on the back of my neck, on the back of my neck. I wanna wait in line for the bathroom. I wanna stand and just wait for the band and feel dumb about my hands and not know what to do with them. I wanna sing karaoke with strangers, hate their stupid songs, laugh till my ribs hurt, and I wanna pile everybody in the car, drive way too far, never be comfortable. I wanna wake up with drool on my shoulder and the smell of feet. It's just worth it to be close to you. I wanna wait in line for the bathroom, make small talk with the people in the other stall. I wanna feel your breath on the back of my neck, on the back of my neck. I wanna wait in line for the bathroom. Wanna wait in line for the bathroom, make small talk with the people in the other stall. Wanna feel your breath on the back of my neck, on the back of my neck. I wanna wait in line for the bathroom. Sorry about the snafu, all the snafus. How many of you guys are service industry people? Anybody? There's only 3 people here. Everybody left? All right, so both of my kids are service industry people, and this has been a really weird year to be put in complete danger, or told you're in complete danger, and have to still go to work because you can't get financial help to stay home and keep the spread down. And then to be serving all the people who are coming in and making your rent high at the same time. So this is a song about that. If I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? Roll your own burrito, I gotta find a place to live. Yeah, if I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? Roll your own burrito, gotta find another place to live. Late nights I'm awake, trying not to speculate about gonna bring your death bug home. Super spreader pipelines sneak across the state line, pretty soon we'll be overcome. They stopped helping us stay home and keep the spread down. So I've got to serve these motherfuckers taking over town. Yeah, if I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? Find another place to live. I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? You bought my apartment, I've got to find a place to live. Yeah, if I'm so essential, why the fuck won't you pay me? Pull your own fucking latte, I've got to find a place to live. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nate. Oh, that was so perfect, exactly what I wanted. I always feel, though, when I invite musicians to play at comedy shows, they kind of show up the comedians. I'm like, those lines are too funny. We have to make our jobs look harder. Thank you, Nate. Nate's going to also play at the end of the show as well, so stick around for that. I'm going to tell a few jokes and then introduce our first comedian. I'm kind of upset that the pandemic's going to come to an end, which, you know, makes me kind of one of those glass half empty people, I guess. But I just feel like I have a year of promises to keep, and they're all coming due, and I feel really bad about that. And I bet everybody else has done it too, right? Like, oh yeah, you know, when the pandemic's over, we're gonna, when there's no longer a deadly virus, I totally want to, we're gonna have to do all that shit now. We're gonna have to hug so many people we don't want to hug. Yeah, I would totally touch your body, but the virus. Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, our friends are going to start being in community plays again, and we're going to have to start thinking of new excuses to go to those, to not go to those community plays, right? It's like the best dream of every introvert is ending. Very sad. What else? But I also think we're all changed. This last year has changed us all, and we can't go back, right? We're deep in the pandemic now. We're deep in there. I feel like when we first, like last March, we were in like the happy pandemic era where we all made sourdough bread and learned to make kombucha. You know, we're like, toilet paper. We're so far past that now. We're in like Fury Road territory now. Like, my Scooby is alive, but I'm dead. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I feel like I'm a lot stronger than I was a year ago, but that came at the cost of all of my feelings. Like, my answer to everything now is just, okay. Right? Like, people are like, the pandemic's going to last a full year. And I'm like, okay. You have to do your entire job and homeschool your two children at the exact same time. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't love you anymore. Okay. Okay. Okay, we can do this. Wear 3 masks at a time. Okay. Okay, I can do it. Yeah, but I think we're, you know, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay in a dead sort of way. I want to welcome our first comedian to the stage. He has been a central part of revival comedy for the last few years. I love watching him perform. He said not to mention any upcoming shows or activities, so I will not. Please welcome Ian St Onge.
Hello. I wish I would have thought this through. I didn't realize that there's going to be that dude with the guitar. Because I've never played an instrument on stage, so. Anyway, I settled in Montana in 1982. Can you hear this? Oh. I hope at some point in my life I can say I tried as hard as I could. That's not today. I'm friends with a lot of popular people on Facebook. I love receiving a voicemail. No, wait, I hate answering a call. What'd you guys say? More Facebook stuff? Okay. Last night I received 4 new friend requests. Today I have 4 new friends on Facebook. Yes! It's just the same 3 chords the whole time. Whoever that dick was up here earlier, whatever, dude. I have 12 people. Oh, more Facebook stuff. Okay. I have 12 people I may know waiting for me on Facebook. I'll get to them. That's a lot of pressure. 12 mother. Oof. Just for a timeline here. I believe that roughly 14 billion years ago there was the Big Bang. You can disagree or whatever, that's fine, but just so you have that number in mind, 1/2 of an hour ago, I heard someone say outside there, Tom Cruise is my favorite actor. Ew. But that's my reaction now. I actually didn't respond. In my mind, I was like, I hate when I'm watching a Bruce Willis film, and I get about halfway through and realize it's not the one I wanted to watch. I've been listening to a lot of rap music lately. So I've been thinking about maybe writing some rap, and I thought maybe you guys would want to hear my new rap. Cool. I wish I had the cool drum machine like that guy, but it's like it goes something like this. Hey, what's up? What's up? How's it going? It's a work in progress. Okay. Now that I'm almost done, thanks. You're doing a great job. When I'm watching Grace and Frankie, and I've got my little glass of wine, and my little blankie, and my little snack, life is perfect, just me, Grace and Frankie. Then my phone buzzes, trying to ruin my fucking life. Oh, look at that. It's a text from Jordan. Demander. Trying to ruin my life. Now the question is, do I answer the text? And the answer is no. It's just me, Grace, and Frankie. That's all I got. All right, there's a real comedian coming up. I hope you guys are excited. She's super special to me and super funny. Becky Margolis.
Whew. Happy pandemic birthday. I love birthday parties. In my experience, they usually involve a lot of crying and regretful sex. These are a few of my favorite things. So this week, everyone's really been reminiscing about kind of their last hurrah before the lockdown went into effect last year. You know, last time going to see live music or going to a wedding or touching a crosswalk button without worrying that it was going to land you on a ventilator. Those were the days. It's weird performing in front of just 7 people, but it's really good to be out. It's good to be here wearing structured pants. My family and I, we're still on pretty strict quarantine right now. So it's basically just my husband and me and our 3 kids cooped up in our apartment together all day, every day, slowly losing our minds, wondering who's gonna be the first to break. It's kind of like one of those survival shows, you know, but like, forget about trying to catch a fish with our bare hands. Like, we barely have the skills to reset the Wi-Fi router. In it to win it. Whenever parents say, "My children are my greatest teachers," I'm like, "Your greatest teachers? Yikes. You must have gone to like a really bad public school." Like, the bar is pretty low if you're getting your best education from somebody who believes in the tooth fairy. Greatest teachers. Yeah, give me a break. I do really appreciate teachers, though, truly, especially now. Gosh, online school, that's tough. It's tough for kids. It's tough for parents. Last year, my son actually did win an award, though, for being a remote learning rock star. And I'm really proud. I am. Just, you know, nailed 6th grade math. Didn't think I could do it. But I think, you know, really the hardest thing about this pandemic is that every day feels exactly the same. And, you know, last fall, I actually got diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was something different and exciting. But I'm like 4 months into treatment now, so even that's gotten boring. But people, I still expect plenty of sympathy laughs tonight, so thank you. I do have this new look right now. I call it chemo chic. It's very low maintenance. I'm not trying to brag, but I actually did wake up like this. Yeah. Myself from the 90s would be like totally jealous of these barely existent eyebrows that I've got going on right now. And that's the thing about chemo that people don't always realize. Like, it doesn't just make the hair on your head fall off. It actually gets rid of all the hair all over your body. So, like, that's really cool. Yeah. It means that right now I'm kind of simultaneously giving, like, grandpa and prepubescent girl vibes. So, that's my look. I've been living life on the edge a little more since my diagnosis. Like, now I'll just kind of carefree, stand in front of the microwave, don't give a shit. Just already got the cancer inside me. Once in a while, I'll even drink water out of a non-BPA-free water bottle. YOLO! And, like, don't at me with, you should eat more kale, or, like, get rid of your underwire bras, or, like, whatever conspiracy theories you have about cancer, okay? I know what caused mine, and it's the Satan worshipers at Hillary Clinton's pizza shop. Like, that's it, 100%. Another really great thing about cancer is that you get, like, a lot of presents. It's awesome. It's, like, way better than when you get married or have a baby even. Just like care packages up the ass. So many mugs with inspirational quotes on them. Yeah, because drinking tea can actually cause cancer. Can cure cancer. Yeah, that's a fact. And, blankets, a lot of blankets, just endless blankets. And I would like to give some of them away because I have way too many, but I don't want to spread the cancer to other people. So I'm just really warm and cozy all the time. When I was, first diagnosed, some of my friends freaked out that they thought, like, maybe they also had cancer. It's kind of like one of those, well, like, if she can get it, I can get it kind of things. But luckily, none of them do have cancer. Thank God. I don't want any of those bitches stealing my thunder. And I need all the inspirational mugs I can get right now. So thank you so much. That's all I got for you. And I'm very excited to introduce our next comedian. He's very funny. The man, the legend, Kyle McAfee.
This mic. I just thought we were being crazy. Like, fuck it. Okay. Keep it going for Becky, please. Becky with the no hair. I texted her that, and she laughed, so it's okay. This doing stand-up like this feels a little bit like doing stand-up on the holodeck. If it was like a really early version of the holodeck, where they were just able to loop 3 laughs. So if you're not laughing, you're like, did I not get that because it's a Star Trek thing? You just didn't get it because it wasn't funny. I'm doing these new things. They're not jokes. They're called dips. They just kind of make you sad. So, I'm 37, and I recently started skateboarding again. And I live at home with my mom. So that song, No Scrubs, is basically about me. If your van's been broke down for a year now, oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. If you're making a papier-mâché spaceship in your basement, oh yeah, boy, I'm talking to you. Yeah, what else? I started buying condoms again recently. Thanks. It had been a while, and so at the store I picked out the ultra-thin condoms, and it turns out those have nothing to do with girth or size at all. So, pretty loose fitting, if anyone needs those. What else? I've been watching a lot of Jersey Shore again. Any Shore heads in here? No. But I've also been watching a lot of the X-Files again, too. And I sort of thought it would be cool if we mashed up those shows and just had, like, The Situation and Snooki solve a bunch of crimes. And they figure out that they were all caused by the situation. But he keeps trying to pin it on, like, aliens. He's like, oh, you know, Snooks, I think, like, an alien came and took away my ability to tell right from wrong. And she's like, no, you're a sociopath. So, shoreheads in the house. Hopefully at home there's some shoreheads. Yeah, Mike Beers before the show said, don't do new material at a streaming show. Did not listen to that. I started a job in the end of the summer, taking care of babies. So that has been interesting. And I found, like, walking around that it's definitely, like, unique to people for a male to be taking care of babies. Like, I would be walking with the kids in the stroller and just get, like, a lot of looks from older women mostly, like, this is possible? And they're like, yeah, your husband could have done a lot more. Sorry. The best one I got was I was walking, like, 2 kids in a double stroller, and I had a baby strapped to my chest, and just walking along, and of course there was, like, a white dude with dreads on a bicycle, and he just looks at me and he just goes, "Go daddy!" And I was like, that's not what's happening, but that's positive, thank you. I also have to change a lot of diapers, which I don't mind that much. It's not that bad. But the thing that kind of pisses me off is that on diapers they have a bunch of cartoons and, like, images that are friendly for kids, but they don't ever really spend time looking at their own diapers. So I thought it would be cool if, like, you made it for adults, like, more entertaining. Like, you had, like, a Ruth Bader Ginsburg quote on a diaper or something like that. Or at least if it's going to be cartoons, make it something cool, like have it be Wolverine, and then when the kid pees, the claws come out, you know. So that's a business idea I have. What else? Another business idea, because that one went over so well. I was thinking of mashing up hip-hop artists with literature. I thought that would be cool. So I came up with some ideas. There could be a T.I.S. Eliot. That would be a good one. You could have Lil John Steinbeck. That could be cool. Jay-Z Salinger. And his project could be called I Got 99 Problems, but a Little Brother Isn't One. Because his little brother died in the book Catcher in the Rye. What else? Let's see. Oh, it's getting nice out again. That's cool. The thing I don't like about it being nice is having to be in the park with my kid when there are other parents and their kids. Like, if it's her and I alone, like, it's awesome. But usually it's like me and her, we go to the park and there's, like, another dad playing with his kid. But his version of playing is, like, he's on his phone the entire time, and he sees me walk up and, like, puts the phone away and pretends like he's engaging with his kid. He's like, "Yeah, Billy, pirates." I totally wasn't on my phone. And I just, like, I would never do that. I would never be on my phone because I have no data, like, at all. So I'm not going to just be on my calculator the whole time. But the other thing I don't like about being in the park with my kid is, like, a stranger dad will come up to me, and I've got a girl, and I'm, like, super protective, but inevitably there will be a stranger that will just be like, "Just wait till they're teenagers." And I'll be like, well, I have to. That's how time works. But also, like, I feel like there's an implication there with her being a girl, like, wait till she's a teenager and she's wild and she's going to be a slut. And I'm like, well, that's, true. She will be a slut. Like, she comes from a long line of sluts. Her mother, I was a slut. Her grandparents were sluts. But also, like, wait, maybe you shouldn't have waited till your kids were teenagers to think about having the conversation with them about, like, gender norms and societal expectations, and maybe treat your young girl like a human being, You could round of applause to that if you guys want to. And then he's like, well, I was just talking about, like, when they drive and stuff. And I'm like, sweetie, we gotta go. Dad made it awkward at the park again with a stranger. I'll leave you guys with this bit. This has been horrifying so far. Sarah, thank you for having me. My daughter is 5, and she recently got an imaginary friend, which I thought I would look forward to and would be really cool. But she's just started to exclude me from everything now. Like, I went up and she was having a tea party by herself, I thought, and I was like, oh, can I join the tea party? And she was like, no, this is just for me and Polish. And that's the name of her imaginary friend. Which is a stupid fucking name, I think. I was like, okay, cool. And I felt bad, but then I had an idea and I went outside and I just started digging a hole. And she came outside and she's like, Dad, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, sweetie, terrible news. Polish was playing out in the street and got hit by an imaginary car. And it was terrible because he didn't even die at first. I had to go out there in the street and snap his imaginary neck just to put him out of his misery. I'm burying him now, and the funeral's later. Did you get the invitation to the funeral? And she's like, no, I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, it's right here. All of this could have been avoided if you had let me sit at your tea party. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Sorry. God damn it. I'll just do like 7 more minutes, or no, the next comic up is a fabulous human being and very funny for you, Nick Hyde.
Is this the correct microphone? Correct. Hell yeah. Hi. Hello, 6 people I know, and the internet. I'm Nick Hyde. I'm a lawyer. Specifically, I'm a public defender, and it's difficult work, and I think maybe the hardest part of it that I've been grappling with lately is knowing that no matter how hard I work, no matter how many hours I put in, no matter how much I research the law, there's no amount of effort I can put in that is going to change the fact that I'm a big fucking nerd. And that hurts because growing up, I knew that I wasn't going to get by on my looks or my athletic ability or my inability to make it through a conversation of more than 7 minutes without mentioning sex predators for some strange reason. And so I studied, and I studied hard. And I know what some of you are asking. You're saying, didn't this guy just mention that he's a public defender? He couldn't have had to study that hard. I mean, that's not a real law job. And that's true, I didn't. A lot of my student loan money went to malt liquor and strippers. But I think I put at least one adventurous young woman through grad school herself, and that's an incredible sense of community that I carry with me to this day. But yeah, it's hard because I did all this work, and the position I find myself in now is that I represent the cool, fun kids I grew up with who never stopped partying and maybe got addicted to meth. And it's frustrating because I can see sometimes some people are like, well, isn't that like a good revenge? Like, you're secure, you're good. No, I'm so jealous of my clients' lives. And for just one example, I had a client who, he was charged with assault. He and a friend were pretty messed up, and they got too rowdy, and the one hit the other, and neither of them really cared about it, but someone called it in. Whatever, it's an assault charge. It's not a big deal, but it sucks. But the problem was, it was also a bad case. A ton of people saw it. And so I worked my ass off on it. I studied hard. I went through like all these weird, obscure statutes that I thought could apply in some sort of self-defense. It didn't work. Made myself sick. I get to trial. My client doesn't show up. And he wins because in Montana, you can go to trial without a client, which is how I did once successfully represent a dead man. But the victim didn't show up either, so he didn't have anyone to testify against him. And the reason that neither of them showed up is because that they were on another meth bender, meaning that where I spent like 2 weeks working my ass off trying to represent my client, he partied his way out of a crime. And it kills me. And the reason I know that he was on that bender is now I represent him on felony drug charges, no big deal. And it's hard, and like a lot of times you don't have many options in these cases, and you're just doing damage mitigation. But one of my favorite things to do is I really love filing what are called motions to suppress. And what that is if a cop finds evidence, but they did it illegally, it doesn't get rid of the case, but the cop has to pretend it never happened. And kind of like how I mentioned, I don't have any athletic ability, I'm never gonna know what it's like to be, for instance, an incredible basketballman. I'm never going to know the satisfaction of dunking on my opponent. But the closest I think I can get is when a cop finds drugs and they're slam dunking those through the hoop, and then I come over and push them back up through the hoop, and then they lose their points, and then the ball hits a cop in the dick. And it's the greatest feeling. And it didn't work in this case because when a cop asks you, hey, am I going to find anything in there I don't like? Do not say, I do not consent. I don't want you to find the drugs in there. Not a good defense. And so, and I make fun, but like he has an obvious substance use problem, and that's a real bummer. And we're just waiting for sentencing now, and he could do up to 5 years. And I think something that really needs to change is judges need to know more about the effects of drugs, not just in an educational sense, but I think judges need to be forced to party for the good of the citizenry. And I think here's why, because like my guy had a bunch of like Molly, like party drugs, nonsense bullshit, no one cares. And the prosecutor wants to be like, oh, that's real serious, that could be used to fund any other number of other little activities, blah, blah, blah. And I want a judge who can like hear that argument and say, well, once at a conference, me and Judge the Honorable Roy Haversham did try some Molly ourselves, and we were told to bring a big bag of ice-cold fruit popsicles for it, and I didn't know why at the time, but as the smoothness came over me, I realized that I was about to get in a very sticky situation, which was itself nice because I found I couldn't keep my hands off of the man. And anyway, Mr. Prosecutor, have you ever considered that maybe you're a huge fucking nerd? Anyway, was that 7 minutes? That's probably 7 minutes. I'm done. Goodbye. Anyway, yeah, you have another comedian coming who is a fantastic individual. He's a staple of the local scene. He's brilliant, and I love him, and he's here, and his name is Dwayne Rader. Give it up for that guy!
Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine. Did Sarah say we're not getting paid for this? So I kind of already spent that money and donated it to Free Verse. This is fucking exhausting. Everything's exhausting now, isn't it? This year is just so tired all the time. Do you know if you go to the drive-thru at Arby's and you order in a silly voice, you have to keep up that silly voice the entire time? I'll wait. Yes, hello, I would like a Jamaica shake, please. And 2 roast beef sandwiches with the meat piled high as a young man's fancies. I suppose I would be disappointed with myself if I did not get the curly fries. I'll make it a meal then? Well, make it so, my good man, make it so, yes. And would I like to round up for the Arby's Scholarship Fund? Okay, let's all shoot for the stars. $11? Sure. Do you take American Express? I said, do you take American Express? I said, do you take American Express? I'm sorry, I can't anymore. This is so much. I'm just trying to have a little fun with the day, and everything is so goddamn stressful, right? It's like I gotta work with people like 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. I gotta argue with them to like keep their goddamn masks on. It's been a year. How do they not get that they need to keep their masks on? My mom called me the other night. My mom calls me the other night, and she's like, I feel sick, and she's scared because she lives alone. And today I'm texting her, and she's not responding, right? She's not responding to my texts. And so I'm worried about that. and I would like cheese on those sandwiches, please. So tiring. So tired, but I'm trying to keep busy, I spent this time, working on learning ASL. I got really into like cooking at home, I got my CDL and I became a bus driver. Yeah, I guess. Anytime I tell people, people with the faces and the bad ideas, anytime I tell people anything interesting about my life, they always have the same response, and that is, I bet you get a lot of jokes out of that, huh? There's a lot of material there, huh? And they're right. My only motivation to do anything is for new jokes. I went to college not for an education, but because I needed new jokes about smoking weed. I got divorced, not because my marriage was irreparably broken and toxic for both of us, but because I wanted that relatable family material. And although I had mixed feelings about it, I continued to buy cigarettes for my girlfriend after she developed cancer, not because she's an adult and can make her own decisions and that's what she wanted, but because I thought someday it would be less traumatic and more funny. So I became a bus driver. And I thought it'd be funnier. I did. But being a bus driver is like being the only camp counselor at a camp for alcoholic adults with untreated mental illness and a history of criminal violence. And the camp itself is inside of a 50-foot-long closed box that you have to navigate through traffic all day while trying to not kill anyone. It's not very funny. But sometimes I find myself alone on the bus. And at those times, I like to flip off the automatic announcements and pull down my microphone.
and sing commercial jingles for products that may or may not exist. Now approaching Latimer and Palmer. Latimer and Palmer, next stop. Is anyone on the bus? Anyone on the bus? My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a last name, it's M-E-Y-E-R. My baloney has a middle name, it's G-I-R-A-F-F-E. Oscar Giraffe Meyer Baloney. Now approaching Palmer Professional Buildings. Palmer Professional Buildings, next stop. I found myself alone in the grocery store frozen food section, licking my lips while looking at a frozen pizza. So I guess I'm done with sex. One thing that the pandemic has not managed to stop, I still drive by the Women's Health Care Clinic and see people outside with signs that say, "Pray abortions end." And I think to myself, yes, I do. I do pray that. Every time I'm sitting in the waiting room and they're back there in the doctor's room scraping it out or whatever they do, and I feel like it's been hours and hours, and I think to myself, God, when will this abortion end? Faster abortions is what we need. These people get it. They're on the ball. Here's something that will always be timely, probably until well after I'm dead. So a couple months from now. There are people in states, politicians and various people, we talked about them before with the faces and the ideas. People who make it harder for women to make up their own mind about abortions, to make their own decisions. And I think because of that, it's important to state where you stand on the topic. I am very pro-choice. Very pro-choice. In fact, I have in my time paid for a few abortions, yeah, because I believe in investing in my future. Yeah. It's like something like $1 million to raise a child to 18 years old, $350 to correct a mistake. My grandfather always told me we were 1/8 Cherokee on his mother's side of the family. And my grandmother also makes shit up. I'm gonna drink something here. Throat's so dry. Downside of the mask wearing. My mouth is always dry. Everything's dry all the time. I can't smoke weed anymore, but I kept the cotton mouth. It's a bad deal. Oh. I got a dog. A lot of people think that their dogs look like them. My dog doesn't look like me. Which is weird because she is my biological child. You know, anyone can be a dad, but it takes a real dog fucker to be a father. Have I stretched that PG-13 limit? I got a dog not for the companionship or the joy or the longevity it brings, but because I enjoy picking up shit in tiny plastic bags. And they wouldn't let me back in the park until I brought my own animal. A friend of mine invited me to a potluck. I said, "What should I bring?" She said, "Whatever," so I hired a sword swallower. I learned two things about myself from that moment. One, I did not know I would find it such a turn on to see someone pull a sword out of a dude. Didn't need that information, don't know what I'm going to do with it. Two, you ever forget you're weird? It just kind of hits you. Like you're watching someone pull a sword out of a dude, and you're like, oh. My fancies are piled high as a Harvey's roast beef sandwiches right now. Or maybe it's a Saturday morning, you're at home, watching Young Justice on HBO Max, while wearing a Captain America mask because you like to mix universes. You're trying to spoon some Captain Crunch through that tiny little mouth slit. It's getting everywhere, and you think to yourself, I'm 37 years old. I have no children. I own no property. By this point in my life, I should have realized I can cut the mouth hole wider. Okay, so I think I've eaten up enough time here. We're going to go ahead and bring up the headliner, the showstopper, the man himself. Please welcome Mike Beers.
You all to scream wrong mic when I got on stage. Wrong mic. Fuck. All right, I'd like to start by reading from the Book of Comedy, chapter 11. No, hey Siri. Hey Siri. Set my alarm for 12 minutes. Fantastic. Thank you. Does anybody else thank Siri? Am I the only one who does that? And then every time you do it, you think that you have an auntie somewhere that's smiling? Yeah, like, that's right, Mike. You thank that inanimate object. I do it for that reason, and I also do it for the reason when Siri does become self-aware, I want Siri to remember that I was the polite asshole. But I did that, another COVID variation. So I know when my 15 minutes are almost up, because Siri is the new John Howard. But no, thank you. It was really nice being here. And thank you, Freeverse, for everything that you do. And continue in any way that you can at home. Please support them monetarily in any way that you can. It is a great thing that gives people their own voice. I know when I found stand-up comedy as a writing style, it's the most me I'd ever felt in my life. And for somebody that spent a lot of time trying to be other people, that was kind of my hobby all through school. It's really freeing, figuring out you're really good at being yourself. No worries. Absolutely. But thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to get on the front of the stool. It's really an honor to be one of 20 tabs that you have open on your computer. I can't tell you that to know that you're ignoring TurboTax, because you'll get to it tomorrow, and that there's an incognito window hidden behind me. And you'll get around to finishing about the time that I do. It's humbling. I do have, I got my second vaccine. I got my second shot of that sweet, sweet vaccine. Yeah, and I know, how it was popular a little while ago to say first world problems when something was annoying you, but then you realize that other people have it a lot worse. I really think we're going to start, I personally am going to start running into vaccinated problems. First vaccinated problem, I can't get the Band-Aid off. I know, I knew I could make you say, "Aw." I know, it wasn't the problem with the first shot. The first shot was okay, because 2 weeks later I got to go back, and the nurse took it off of me. Now I have to wait for the variants to have their own vaccine before I can get this fucking Band-Aid off my arm. There's also another one that I'm realizing. I don't know about a lot of people, but I didn't drink before I turned 21. And I was one of my older people in my friend group. So when I did turn 21, I was the only one. So it didn't make any goddamn difference because you can't go out anyway because you don't have any friends that are old enough. Unless you make new friends that are 21, but that never ends up working out because your entire relationship is based on going out and drinking. Not healthy. Your only other option is that you take up your racist uncle's offer to bond. And that's where I'm at with the vaccination now. None of my friends are vaccinated. So I'm going to a brewery with my uncle next week. He can change. No, you really can't. Kyle, I did want to tell you, social distance high five. I am also buying condoms again. Hey, Mallory. No, I'm buying condoms again. Here's the deal. I'm allergic to latex. I'm not going to go into that story because I don't have a lot of time. I will say, though, the additional swelling was kind of nice. No, it was my 7th grade science fair project. I found out I was boiling antifreeze because that's what the teacher said I should do, and I was wearing latex gloves, and it almost killed me, Mr. Andrews. But in order to buy condoms, here's one thing: if you work with kids or students, or you just haven't seen family members in a while and you're kind of worried about them, go buy condoms. Because 9 times out of 10, you will run into the last person you want to see in the store. I ran into 5 students whose high school I spoke at while I was buying condoms. I had to go, during a pandemic, I had to go to 3 stores to find non-latex condoms. Missoula. I even did that humbling thing, because you never want to go to the store, right, where you have to go to the pharmacy and talk to a human being. And then you actually know, you're like, I'm a 38-year-old. I spent my entire life staying alive so I can buy whatever the fuck I want in a grocery store. But I'm still ashamed. But I went to, like, the first store didn't have the non-latex option. Second one didn't have it. I went to the pharmacy in the third one. And here's the deal, Missoula. You have any idea what kind of mind game you were playing when you're on a mission to buy something that will prevent you from getting an incurable, deadly disease? And you know full well every time you have to go to another store, you're putting yourself at risk of getting an infectious, incurable, deadly disease? Ah! And you're going through all this, and by you, I mean me. And the more stores I have to go to, and I keep striking out finding condoms, my self-conscious side starts getting to me. It's like, you failed 5 different times trying to buy the condoms. How do you think the night's gonna go? Thanks, Nick. But I did realize that I forgot a joke earlier, so I'm going to go back to it. But this whole, like, Band-Aid issue, trying to get the Band-Aid off my arm, knowing that I can't do it, and I just really made myself some promises. This is how Republicans feel about Obamacare. The Band-Aid's working. It's not everything we should have, but you guys can't get it off, so that's great. I'm gonna read again from the Book of Comedy, and I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to donate some more money to Freeverse. All right, Venmo, do all that. I'm gonna end by telling a story that I really enjoy, and it happened to me about 4 years ago, and this is really for the comics. Actually, in the spirit of birthdays, I remember the last show that I did in Missoula Live. And I want to say, it's really nice seeing twice as many people here tonight as there was at that improv show that we did. This is really overwhelming. Definitely going on the resume, for sure. Yeah. No, I was in the grocery store about 4 years ago, and it was the one on Albertsons. I like to tell this joke as fast as I can just to prove to myself that I can do it. But anyway, I was standing in the produce aisle, and I had a head of, for people that may not be able to see, I have one arm that's very long, and then I have one arm that's very short. I call it the minute hand and the hour hand. So from this point forward, if I reference the minute hand, it's my left. If I reference the hour hand, it's my right. Yes, I got fired from doing a job as a human clock, but I don't have time for that material, and I've done it so many times. There's at least 3 comics rolling their eyes right now, but they're not on their laptops. I'm talking to you. I'm standing in the produce aisle at Albertsons, and I had a head of kale under the hour hand, and I had a bottle of dressing. And I'm reading the nutrition facts because I'm doing that now. And this woman came up to me. And the reason that I love this story is, especially in this year, we spent a lot of time looking at ourselves this year. I'm talking to you, Zoom. I've spent a lot of time looking at these eyebrows. And damn, they're nice. They really are. They really are. People give my hand a lot of credit for my success, but my eyebrow's making some money. But I like this joke, and because if you hear it for the first time, there are villains and there are heroes. And something this year has taught all of us is there's no such things as villains and heroes. Advocacy in life is non-binary. The only reason you can have villains and heroes in your life is if you're a politician or you make a lot of freaking money. The rest of us, these things don't exist. But I didn't always think about that in this story. So there are no villains in this story. They're just different people from different points of view that brought them to the same point. And everybody at that point in which I interacted with them, they were doing the right thing. Even if it was annoying me to no end. But that's where we got to look. We got to look at the status quo. So this woman walks up to me in the produce aisle. She's about my mother's age. We're not going to say what that is. But she walks up to me, and she pops my personal space bubble right away. And she says, "Do you need assistance?" Now, everybody at home, let me tell you, this happens to me 2 to 3 times a week. Even during a pandemic, and I don't know how we've pulled that off. But people will offer me unsolicited help all the time. One thing I mentioned the condoms earlier. I'm dating a special ed teacher, and I can't wait until, oh, Siri, are you serious? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ignore you like I do John. I can't wait till the pandemic gets ended so I can introduce people to this person I really care about, and also see how awkward people get when we introduce ourselves. And we'll be like, "Hey, yeah, this is my girlfriend Mallory. She's a special ed teacher," and people will be like, "That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense." But we're standing. I'm this woman, and she yells at me, "Can I offer you assistance?" Mature me says 2 things right away, or I say, "No, thank you, I'm fine." See, it's been a year. 2 things happen in this moment. One, the person that offers me help in public, even though I didn't ask, they feel better because they offer me help. I feel better because they leave. This woman did not. She got closer to me and louder, just like I'm going to do to you at home. "Do you need assistance?" Now, as comfortable as I am in front of 7 people and whoever's at home, one-on-one, if I don't know you and we don't have to socially distance, I'm terrible. I got so awkward and so my fight or flight said run. So I turned around and I ran from this woman. And I heard 2 things as I ran. I heard the bottle drop on the ground, and I heard this woman yell in a very satisfied voice, "I knew you needed assistance!" I felt very awkward. And as an adult, you can't have your blanket with you all the time. Again, I don't know why we arbitrarily tell ourselves we can't have things that make us feel comfortable, even though they're not hurting anybody else. Before the pandemic, I spent a morning in my niece's shower. They had they had no toilet paper. They just had baby wipes. And there was no adult shampoo. There was only the notes here. Everybody, that was the best, most comfortable morning I've had in 37 years. Okay, it's like 32. But here's the deal. That technology exists for all of us. Why do we not use it? Why do we decide that as adults, we have to wake up every morning and wipe our ass with low-grade sandpaper and cry? So anyway, I go to get coffee. And when I'm standing in the coffee line, there's this young mother with two little kids in front of her. And when little kids see the hour hand, they get really curious. They're like, "Oh, that's an adult with a dinosaur arm." They start hiding behind the adult's leg. And as soon as the adult sees it, we've all been this character, right? When you see someone different and your adult notices you doing that, they're going to tell you, "Don't stare. That's not polite." But here's the deal. If that's the answer, who's winning? I'm not winning because I feel bad because you just yelled at your kid in the store. You feel bad because you think I feel bad, and the kid doesn't. Well, yeah, the kid does learn something. They learn that they're 5 years old, and they just acknowledge somebody that's different, and they got yelled at for doing so. So the next time they run into my arm in public, they're going to ignore me. Because they don't want to get yelled at. And there's a lot of problems in this world with people calling each other the wrong thing. But it really hurts to be ignored. So, I give a lot of credit to where the story goes after here. This young mother pushes her little boys toward me with humility and respect and says, "Hey, can they ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." So he looked up at me with these big brown eyes and they said, "Dude, what's wrong with your hand?" And I looked at him very patiently and I said, "I didn't eat my vegetables." Please donate to Freeverse, everybody. And thank you for having all of us here.
Keep it going for Mike Bierce, everybody.
And keep it going for Sarah.
Yes. Okay, this is your last chance to donate to Freeverse. It's right below my feet and your feed. It's called Give Butter. Give a couple dollars. Thank you so much to the comedians tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the ZACC. The ZACC has been hanging on by its fingernails for the last year, as you might imagine. They are the Community Arts Center of Missoula. They help everyone of every age and every stage get arts education and arts just like in our faces. It's amazing. And they've survived through the last year, which is awesome. Before we leave tonight, we have a few more songs by Nate Biehl. So please give it up for our musical guest tonight.
Hi. I'm trying to decide what to do next. Too much pressure. I know, we are all trying to figure out what to do next. I remember, sorry, that's a callback to the first poem. I remember when we could all, I remember when I could pee in an alley, sorry, on a regular basis. Yeah, that's kind of an anniversary that just happened. I just peed in an alley for the first time in a year. That remains unsaid. Okay, Chris Bauman asked me to play this next song. song is kind of about, it's about male tears, I guess. Each night I meet a new one, acting like she wants to know who I am. A subtle smile at my jokes, a gentle touch on the back of my hand. So I'll pick up her drinks, show her I know how to treat a lady. By the time we hear last call, there'll be nothing but her bar tab and me. She's got a head full of curls, like smoke in a spotlight, eyes as deep as lines in my hands. She's got a voice that soothes me like ice in a highball, but she'll run off like tomorrow's plans. When she whispers in my ear, my heart sounds like hooves on a track. Her cheeks are soft and rosy, like pink neon off the bottles in the bag. But underneath that soft glow, there's a heart as hard as knuckles on a tooth. And when the night is over, there'll be nothing left of her but the truth. She's got a head full of curls, like smoke in a spotlight, and eyes as deep as lines in my hands. She's got a voice that soothes me like ice in a highball, but she'll run off like tomorrow's plan. She's got a head full of curls, like smoke in a spotlight, and eyes as deep as lines in my hands. She's got a voice that soothes me like ice in a highball, but she'll run off like tomorrow's plans. Yes, she'll run off like tomorrow's plans. I made an error in judgment where this pedal that makes my voice do this weird stuff, I forgot that the guitar doesn't work if it's just like normal. So now all the songs that are like not made for this set are going to sound weird. Okay, who made sourdough stuff? Who did it? Who made, as Sarah said, who made kombucha? Yeah. I ate it. You ate kombucha. Your Scobie's alive from your dad. That was a great joke. This next song, I gotta find the lyrics for it. It's kind of called, it's about that. It's called Cottagecore. I'm currently not, oh listen, see there it is again. I'm currently not the lead singer in any of the bands I'm in, and so I'm used to someone else doing stuff when I tune.
It's a kind of embrace when the dough sticks to your hand. The dough, it's sour, it's like a metaphor for our times. We have to keep it alive. We've learned we need to learn to provide. I kind of love the way we figured out how to take it in stride. But secretly, it doesn't satiate me. With all the storefronts shuttered, promises broken out in the streets, I'm planting these food. Who knows where we'll be next summer? My fingers in the roots, it's like a metaphor for our times. I think these are beats, at least that's what I heard through her mask. The smell of the soil means that I don't have the bug this time. You always wanted more time, and now time is all we got. Yeah, I'm living like monks. I'm sewing a mask, idle thumbs, they're the devil's. I stab my thumb and I bleed, it's like a metaphor for our time. I printed it too small, so I'm just gonna play it. Wanted more time, now time is all we've got. What are we gonna get done? The answer is nothing. Like an embrace when the dough sticks to your hands. The dough is sour, it's like a metaphor for our times. We have to keep it alive. Oh, we need to learn to provide. I kind of love the way we've learned to take this hell in stride. But secretly, it doesn't say she ate me. With all the storefronts shattered, promises broken down in the streets. So do you guys know the band Suicide? That was kind of like, the concept was Suicide singing a McSweeney's. I'm trying to decide what to do next. Sorry, I'm noodling. What do you think of the braids? It was a way to avoid the barber. Avoiding the barber is key. Okay. This next song I wrote quite a bit before. This is we're done with the contextual songs. So this song's called "You're a Good Lad." You pierce my heart with all your good land, the buck came tumbling down. I did my part. I ate what was left, and the salt water cleansed my mouth. I saw stars, and it gathered up all of my spite. I found my dark, and I finally slept when I crawled in from your light. And now my bones are picked clean by your angels warming me. The air is throbbing of wings, and they smile at me through their bloody teeth, and they sing, and they say, and now my bones are picked clean by your angels swarming me. The air is throbbing of wings, and they smile at me through their bloody teeth, and they sing, oh, they sing,
must be 7 minutes. Oh, sorry. Hey, donate to Freeverse. Sorry, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this thing. Donate to Freeverse. It's apparently below my feet. It's below my feet. Was there something about butter? Give butter. That's not what I was expecting it to say. That's not. I want to show you guys something. Don't be scared. Well, I mean, be scared. This is my favorite relic of this historic time. It says, "Don't touch your face." One of my brilliant coworkers drew this. Okay, one more, right? One more? Is that about right? I woke up with the song in my head, almost complete one morning. It's like totally a dream song. The last one happened that way too. I used to sleep more. It won't be long. Broken arrow, broken arrow, it won't be long. Big chrome doolies, rocking me like a baby. A big diesel cradle, it won't be long. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. I can't understand why you do it again. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. You were my friend. I'm mourning like a dove, I'm weeping like a willow. Come on, broken arrow, why you taking so long? Big chrome doolies, rocking me like a baby. A big diesel cradle, it won't be long. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. Can't understand why you do it again. This voice thing is weird. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. You were my friend. I'm going on down, lay my head on the highway. Tell your wheels roll my way. It won't be long. It won't be long. Broken arrow, broken arrow, won't be long. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. I can't understand why you do it again. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. You were my friend.
broken arrow, it won't be long. Big chrome doolies roll through my memories. I can't hear myself think. I need to breathe easy. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. I can't understand why you do it again. You wouldn't believe how this looks to me. You were my friend. Thanks, everyone. Please get vaccinated. Okay, and donate to Freeverse. These are the public announcements. Bye. Everyone okay?
Yes.
Nice catch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much for supporting Freeverse and all the comedians and musicians tonight. And we're going to have one more show in April. Look forward to that. And after that, we'll see. Thank you so much. Bye.